All right, and we are live. Here we go.
Hey, people.
All right.
How long has it been since Nizul went into that cave and
It's been a long time since I DM'd. Welcome, everyone. We are Chaotic Good, specifically the Unwanted campaign. Chaotic Good has 3 different dungeon masters. I happen to be one of them. I'm Nizul, and here I am with my partners in crime, Von Stad, Sarah Kale, Ivandar, and Brax. And we were formerly playing a ton of Open Legend, which is a great game and we love it, but we've recently moved over and to 5th edition. So we're pretty excited here to play Princes of the Apocalypse and get some dice rolling. I can hear someone's Twitter going. There we go. Thank you. All right. So, without further ado, gentlemen, to
Victory!
So good, so good. Shall we begin? Little 5th edition, guys. You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Whoa, we're not paying Pathfinder?
We could. All right, here we go. Let's get started here. Got to get into character. A terrible threat gathers in the north. Throughout this region of the Forgotten Realms, savage monsters bring destruction. Monsters are on the prowl, preying on flocks, rampaging through croplands, attacking homesteads and travelers alike. This year also brings an unseasonably warm and stormy spring. Tales spread of flooding, windstorms, wildfires, and tremors. But the mystery that has observers of the region most concerned is the disappearance of a delegation traveling overland from the city of Mirabah to Waterdeep. All right. Well, this adventure begins in the Desarin Valley.
Hey, look, a map.
Let me give you a little love on the Desarin Valley here. The Desarin Valley is a lightly settled region of caravan towns, isolated homesteads, and uninhabited wilderness, just a week's journey from Waterdeep. Nothing of note to the wider world has happened here for hundreds of years. The frontier long ago receded farther northward, leaving behind a quiet backwater littered with ruins. These days, the Desarin Valley has little in common with the popular conception of the savage frontier. Winters are hard here, but the hordes of orcs and other hungry monsters are a long way off from these parts. So, we bring you over to this portion of the map. I'll ping the map here. And we have the party on a narrow road called the Keldell Path. What you see is it's a narrow path where when the wagons travel on the path, they're really on the outskirts of it, and they just dig ruts right into the soft earth, and so it forces people that are doing foot traffic, like such as your party traveling afoot, to walk single file. So here you are, this party walking single file along the Keldell Path, heading to Red Larch. You can see rolling fields of grasslands, grass swaying in the wind, probably a little above knee-high, very beautiful, rolling hills. The time of day, it's getting a couple hours before sunset. You can see the sun just coming down and getting ready to crest over the mountains. And you pretty much have about, I would say, 2 to 3 hours left before your arrival at Red Larch. Now, you are all here together as a party. Two of you know each other already, which is Sarah Kale and Brax. You have just met up with Ivandar and Von Stad to form this party, and the reason you guys have formed is because of this missing delegation. Now, in this adventure, which is going to be going on for some time, you guys are going to get a lot of levels. It's going to be going and going and going. There's going to be a lot of factions involvement in the adventure. So the factions that are in this adventure are the Harpers, Lord's Alliance, Order of the Gauntlet, the Zentarim, and the Emerald Enclave. Now, each of you are members of one of these factions, and each faction has an interest in this missing delegation. Each of you, when you arrive at Red Larch, are supposed to be coming into contact with someone of your faction or organization and get further details about this missing delegation and exactly why it's so important to your organization that you find this missing delegation and come up with the reason it disappeared or what happened at all, because it's a big mystery. But like I said, we have these rolling hills going. You have this really small, thin dirt road with the big ruts from all the wagons going through it, and the party is walking single file. And imagine like coming down and now you get like this camera view coming to the party, and there you all are marching along. And let's start with Von Stad. So when the party sees you, what do they see? Go ahead and describe your character for us.
They see a strapping specimen of a human, quite large, about 6'2", flowing, beautiful gray locks coming from his chin downward, head devoid of any other hair, and he throws this beautiful visage out for all to see, and one of the highlights of his personage is the shining, ever-full mug of some alien being named Caden Cayley, which he utters now and again.
From another universe. Yeah, Caden Cayley, he still has influence over the Forgotten Realms.
And he punctuates his speech now and then with very large words, and he gives an air of, I know more than you do.
Nice. All right. Very good. Very good. So we continue along as the party's walking by. Von Stad, of course, is in front, and then right behind him, we see Sarah Kale. Sarah Kale, describe your character.
She's a little old lady, burnt, grizzled, wisp of hair underneath her hooded visage. There's scarring. Her fingertips are bluish black. And she's riding in a little cart that barely supports her with a little goat that's got 3 legs pulling her forward. And she's got little various pouches all over her, and she has an air around her of smelliness and decay, little decreption. And riding around next to her or flying in the air is this wretched-looking bird with sometimes the eye falls out of it. But it's Tobin. Tobin's beautiful. You have to appreciate him.
Excellent, excellent. And we keep moving down the marching order as you guys are walking by toward heading to Red Larch. And then Ivandar, we come to you. Describe your character.
He's a very young man, very, very, very good-looking young man. Brown hair, a little mustache, goatee, long flowing cape, studded leather armor. You see a rapier at his hip and some daggers. He also carries a lute, and as he's walking along, he's quietly strumming his lute and humming a jaunty tune under his breath, just kind of keeping tune to help people march along.
Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. And then pulling up rear guard, not due to lack of thunder, is the mighty Brax. Brax, go ahead and describe your character.
Brax is a hulking figure, approximately 8.5, 9 feet tall. He carries with him one of the what really stand out about him is his huge battle axe, and also, strangely enough, he has a ballista strapped across his back as well. Also, one things to note: he has adorned himself with, excuse me. Fur from a bear, and he seems to be packing like skulls and teeth and bones, all from bear.
Nice, very nice, very nice. So, as I stated earlier, this is your first adventure together, Von Stad and Ivandar, with Sarah Kale and Brax. Sarah Kale and Brax, you know each other because you both are members of the I believe it's the Emerald Enclave. Yes, Von Stad, you're a member of the Lord's Alliance. And Ivandar is a member of the Harpers. So the Lord's Alliance do have an insignia as well as the Harpers. All Harpers wear a Harper's pin. It's a little silver pin showing the symbol of the Harpers. And the Lord's Alliance will wear their symbol also somewhere. And Von Stad, where is your symbol on your character?
It is on an amulet.
Okay, cool. So
from my neck.
Wow, that was profound.
Unexpected.
Wow. I am impressed.
On next.
I am impressed.
God, that's going to cause a fashion explosion.
Okay, well, like I said, estimations put you at Red Larch in about 3 hours. You should be able to beat the setting of the sun if you guys go at a decent rate. Along the road, though, is there any role-playing you'd like to do, inter-party role-playing, before you arrive at Red Larch?
No, I don't like these guys.
Hey, Harper, make us a jaunty tune. This is boring. My goat is off tune.
I suppose I could. I have been humming, but I guess for someone of your age, it is kind of hard to hear. So I crank up the medieval amp.
Nice. I want to see a roll on this. How well is this electric guitar happening here? So do you have an instrument that you play?
Yeah, I have a lute.
Oh, nice.
So I am performing quite well. Thank you very much.
I'd ask you to role play that, but I don't think you can compete.
You don't need to hear me sing in actual real life.
Gotcha. We'll do descriptive role playing.
So I basically do Stairway to the Heavens. and then I follow up and sing To the Crow, Freebird.
Oh, man. Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give the first inspiration of the day to Ivan Dar.
Oh, nice.
You have inspiration. Now, inspiration, just so everyone knows, 5th edition rule, you can have inspiration or you don't have it, but once you have it, you can't have it again until you use it. So it'll give you advantage on a check of your choice. All right, well, that was great. So a couple hours go by, and the party moves along into Red Larch. And you enter the village here. Let's go ahead and move you guys over. All right. So you came in from the Keldell Path, and the party finds itself at the intersection to what's called the Long Road. The Long Road is a really wide, well-maintained road that is, very big on the. It's very important to the trade routes. To the south of you is Waterdeep. So Waterdeep traffic comes up this way along the way to, I believe it's Miramar is to the north of you. And that's where the delegation was coming from. So I placed each of your character tokens down on the board, took liberty there. And as you can see, there's a lot of locations here to explore. But what I did is instead of spending tons of time exploring each and every location, they should show themselves more organically. We don't have to spend a ton of time, like going through the mall and checking each door. So I put down the name of some of the key locations here that you guys will be concerned with, because your first order of business is to make contact with the representative of your factions. So that is done. If you scroll down south, down the Long Road, you'll see Valavo's Sundaries. And that is the name. Ivandar, you were given that particular business as your source of contact. There's the owner of that business is there for you. And then if we scroll up a little more, and we have Tarnlar's Clothier, and that is for the Lord's Alliance character, which is Von Stad. Your contact is there awaiting you. And then if we scroll a little bit north along the Long Road, we have Haleas. Haleas is for the Emerald Enclave, and Sarakel and Brax. Your contact is there. So it doesn't take you long to meander through the town. There, they have businesses, so obviously they have their little signs hanging and swaying in the light breeze. There is. Since it's been 3 hours now, the sun is actually hitting the mountains now and coming down and starting to set. The weather is brisk. We're in the fall season right now, so you can see the trees are starting to turn. Like the weather gets a little colder, nights are getting colder, but during the day it's not too crazy, and we're not yet at winter. Two other locations I pointed out were the Swinging Sword. I love that. Never mind, sorry. I'm so mature. The Swinging Sword is an inn for you guys if you guys would like rest and a hot meal. And then the Helmet High Sun is a tavern. There's no place to stay overnight at the Helmet High Sun, but there's plenty of drinking available there. And you can also have drinks, of course, at the Swinging Sword. And I am now, with all that, going to go ahead and turn the adventure over to the party and let you go from here. What would you like to do?
That tavern is calling my name.
Tavern?
But being the responsible one, I suppose I should check in.
Okay. So for you, your check-in is... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I look at my companions. So, do we check in? Do we do this individually, or should we stick together as a party?
It's a good question. Okay.
I'm old and slow. Let's just stick together so we can all hear the information together.
6 of one and 8 of the other with me.
What are you saying, bearded freak?
So
That's what I thought. Let's go check in with the Harper.
Nice. All right.
Nothing.
Very
All right,
good.
so the Harpers it is.
Okay, so you're going to head down to Balavo's Sundries here. All right. So the party makes their way down the long road, and you can see many businesses and hanging signs. If you are curious to any particular location, just give me the number, and I'll let you know what it is. And off you go. So aside from the bewildering profusion of doors, barrels, rotting old furniture, and tools leaning against its outside walls, this building looks like a private home. A small faded sign on the front door reads, Valavo's Sundries. Rooms are crammed to the rafters with new wares and used items of all sorts. So imagine yourself a fantasy-based garage sale, and you kind of get the idea of Valavo's Sundries. And inside, you see a man who runs the store, and he's sitting on a chair right at the front porch before you even come in, and he's got a nice rocking chair, and he's got his feet up. He's got his boots on. The boots have a ton of dirt on them from walking on the long road, and he's got a big jug in his hand. And he's all, welcome to the Sundries. What can I get for you?
I flash my Harper badge. It's in the crook of my hat, so I give him a Harper badge flash.
Yeah, well, it looks like a brother Harper. What do you do? But yeah, I've been told you were coming here. What's your name? Ivanhoe? You told me it was, oh God, I can't remember. What's your name?
The name is Ivandar.
Ivandar.
Well to remember.
Yeah, that was it. Yes. Oh, yeah. So, you're here for that missing delegation. It's causing quite the ruckus here. Right?
What
Sure.
can you tell us about it?
Yeah.
He looks over and he sees Sarah Kale, who's, we already know what she looks like. So he's like, you don't look like you're a Harper. Why are you here?
We are here together.
What he said.
Like a party, I say.
Right. We have formed a party.
Oh, wow, how original.
And I'll be the head.
He kind of almost loses his balance on his chair, and he's like, all right, yes. Well, let me just give you your information so you can get out of my hair, unless you care to purchase some of my wonderful goods I have collected over time.
I would love to, but I believe my tetanus shot needs renewing.
Hey, man. I know what you're doing. All right. So he goes in and spits out the information, and basically stumbling over his drunken words, lets you know that the delegation included a renowned shield dwarf historian named Brundlethar. That is spelled Bruldenthar. I'm going to say that. Bruldenthar. Maybe I should be more drunk. Bruldenthar. Who is transporting his collection of manuscripts to Waterdeep. The Harpers don't want this sage or his books to fall into the wrong hands. So now all of a sudden you can see a little overlay, a UI overlay, and it says quest acquired.
I didn't realize he had a little explanation point over his head.
Yeah, exactly. Quest giver. Nice. All right. You're welcome to shop. He's sitting there enjoying his beer. In fact, he's like, when you're all done, I'm going to actually head over to the inn and get me a meal. So if you're not going to buy anything, I'm going to head on out.
And do I happen to? I glanced around. Is there anything in here?
Let me go ahead and do a little roll here.
Yeah, do I perceive anything that could have any power in it?
All right. With that roll, no, neither of you. It really does look just like a lot of secondhand junk. I mean, there's some swords, and you never know what you find. I mean, but it's all just so piled and disorganized. It's really hard to even find the stuff. You're digging through barrels. I mean, all this stuff is just stuffed in barrels a lot of times, and it's just a hot mess in here. Plus, it's dusty, and yeah, but you don't find anything worthy that you're like, ooh, I want to get this. No magical wares or anything along those lines. All right.
All right.
So if you guys, he walks with you because he's heading on up to the swinging sword to go get a meal. So he stumbles across the long road, stepping in as he's going.
Well, Von Stad, should you not check in?
Oh, I thought we were all checking in collectiveness. Apparently not.
Well, let us go
I'll
to
go
where.
with you.
Yeah,
Yes.
let us go to your check-in spot next.
The check-ins.
The check-in.
Let's do the check-ins. All right. Nice. All right. Well, you head over to Tarnlard's Clothier, obviously. The name kind of tells you what type of business it is. It says Tarnlard's is the only place to buy quality clothing for 100 miles around. The square, two-story building stands at the intersection of the Long Road and the Carn Road. Its signboard is painted with images of well-dressed lord and lady, one on each side of the board. Ornate scrollwork iron bars protect the windows. And Von Stad, as you come in, the floor is wooden, so your boots click on and have that hollow thud as you walk across the boards, and they'll squeak too as the floorboards are giving away a little bit. But the first thing you notice, though, as you walk in, and there's a counter across from you, and standing on the counter is a little well-dressed individual who is in a book, is writing, and he stands up and he looks and he's like, well, hello, welcome to Tarnlard's Clothers. I am Helva. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And you see him though, but he goes and he starts walking to the side to go around the counter, but he steps down a bit of steps. So he was actually propped up, and he was clunk, 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 clunk. Now he's behind the counter. You can't even see him, and he runs around, and he's a little gnome. And the most well-dressed gnome you've ever seen. I mean, he's wearing this awesome just jacket. He has a great pants and boots. They're all polished, shiny. He's got gloves on. I mean, he's decked out. And he looks at you, and, of course, Von Stad is got a good fashion sense as well. And he's like, wow, you might just be the most well-dressed man I've seen come this way in some time. It's very clear that you have good taste. What would you like? I have cloaks. I have pants. I have everything. I have boots. I'm trying to get some pants. I'm legged.
The part of the gnome clothier will be played by Tom Cruise.
Yeah. All right. So what do you say about Todd?
Go right to his face. The seams of my frog. The seams of my hat seem to have been frayed.
So you need a new hat? No problem. I got tons of hats. Right this way. And then as you're walking, he notices you see him eyeball up because he's a little guy, and he looks up and he can see your medallion. He's like, oh, Lord's Alliance. You must be Von Stad. You're right on time. Wow. Very good.
I'm remembering the key words, to verify authenticity.
It's like a thieves' cant. You have a little symbol.
Do you have gray thread?
Our gray thread is the best in the land. So he pulls out his, and he's got a little medallion too, but his is about the size of a quarter. You don't need a big one like you. Otherwise, it'd be like, Tring! So he shows his medallion and confirms his.
Of course, I lean over and
you clank them.
we knock.
Yeah. I love it. All right, cool. Well, he spends a lot of time. He talks really fast, so it's really hard to keep up with him. And he just pretty much informs you that 3 important diplomats from the cities in the Alliance were leading the delegation. A moon elf from Silvery Moon named Tirasil, a shield dwarf from Erebar named Rundorf, and a human noble from Waterdeep named Desenia Mahara. The diplomats are important, but each also carries one part of a secret coded document that must be recovered at all cost. Whee! Quest acquired. I'll give you those names again. So, in English, 3 important diplomats. We have a moon elf named Tereseal, Tereseil. You might want to write that down somewhere on your sheet, but I leave it to you. A dwarf from Mirabar named Rundorf, and a human noble from Waterdeep named Desenia Mahara. Rundorf is Rhundorth, and Desenia Mahara, Deseyna, and then Mahara, Majarra. If I have to repeat those names at any point in the future during this campaign, you will be consuming heartily.
So I'm hoping, Von Stott, that you wrote those down since that's your quest.
Yeah. I didn't see him move a muscle, dude.
Yeah, I saw him leaning back, smiling and nodding, going, yes, those are names.
I figured his camera froze up.
And of course, both my pens died.
Hello, you're coming in broken.
Nice. Okay. I take it you guys want to head over to Halea's now?
Over to Halea's.
All right. So the reason I'm taking my time giving you these contacts is because these contacts will be playing a big, important role throughout the campaign. So it's worth the time to really, get to know them and find out their personality quirks, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So we have Halea's, originally from Am. Hang on a second here. Hold on. Okay, cool. Halea Handarum operates a bathhouse, a dress shop in her large, well-appointed home. Half barrels planted with aromatic herbs and flowers flank the entrance, and the windows are decorated with flower-filled window boxes. Inside is a tidy room that functions as a dressmaker shop and a fitting room. Beyond 2 sets of doors are bathing chambers that emanate pleasant smells and warm dampness. I didn't write it. Don't blame the messenger.
Emphasis on wetness.
Yeah, exactly. Well, of course, Halea, though, it actually stops you all. I mean, you all actually are stopped in your tracks because she is beautiful, elegant, gorgeous. She's an elf, and wears a long green gown that she obviously sewed herself. She smells great because she got all her bath salts going. Her skin is flawless. And she turns around and, sees the mighty Brax, an ogre, half ogre, along with Sarah Kale, who looks like a witch / hag, and immediately recognizes you and says, "Oh, welcome, Sarah Kale and the mighty Brax. I've been expecting you."
Yeah.
Of course, your reputation precedes yourself.
Or hear about you again. Sorry, I forget things. He doesn't tell me everything.
And how are you today, dear Brax?
He just grunts.
I must say, Brax, I do have to say again.
He is happy to see you.
Brax, good.
I heard he was a ogre of few words, but sometimes it's funny. Not this time, though. So she says, "I'm very sorry, Brax, but you're not going to be able to take advantage of my bathhouse just because I simply don't have anything that's going to fit your large girth. And I do apologize. But
Brax not bathed.
That I can tell. But you're welcome here regardless. And I see, Sarah Kale, would you happen to be interested in a new dress I could sew for you?"
It would just melt on me. It's just not worth the problem.
Very well. Well, she's very pleasant. The place smells wonderful, and it doesn't take her long before she goes ahead and gives you the information that you're after. And the moon elf Tereseal, Teresiel, had in her possession a pouch of magical seeds she was taking to the Abbey of Goldenfields, not far from Red Larch. When planted, these seeds are supposed to grow into a magical grove. And she explains, of course, that they definitely do not want to get these seeds in the wrong hands. Plus, that grove, they have big plans for it. So it's vital that you find Tereseal. And another quest acquired. All right, cool. Well, now you guys got your motivation. You see that you're part of these factions. This missing delegation is important. You each have your own individual stuff you're trying to accomplish. Plus, the delegation has a lot more people, and it's always a good thing just, to go out there and just help people. All right, what would you guys like to do?
Well, my dear, If I had known nature had such beauty, I might not have joined the Harpers. Would you care to join us for some dinner?
Wow. All right. Let's see a roll there, persuasion boy.
Oh.
He bombs another 25. Roll? 18.
Ooh.
It would be my honor to join you and your friends. Yes, I am hungry.
I present my arm.
She takes it.
That's not all. She could never.
He almost did it. And once again, look at this face.
That's right.
Yeah. That's a handsome man.
That's his O face.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. All right, so the dinner awaits you at the Swinging Sword, and you head in, and let's see here, the Swinging Sword. The Swinging Sword is a welcoming and luxurious by the area's rustic standards. Each room boasts a hearth, warm draperies and tapestries, and running water. So you clearly see this is a very nice inn. It's a one-story inn, though, with wooden floors that creak also, and you can see a little bit of sawdust on the floor for people that spit. You can see the place is thriving. It does have customers that are enjoying meals, enjoying drinks, and enjoying the fire. And you can also see it's got a bar, and you can see it also has employees. One being a big half-orc who seems to be the muscle of the bar, just in case anyone, gets out of hand. And you can see he's in a big argument right now with the contact for the Lord's line. I'm sorry, the Harper Valabos. So he's in a big argument with Valabo, who brought his own mug of drinks in with him and has him by the cuff and takes him out the front door and just throws him out. And he's like, "Don't bring that in here. You won't be warned again." And this big old half-orc just spins around and looks at you all and looks and sees that you're not carrying your own. "Welcome to the Swinging Sword." And he stomps back in. Yeah, you also can see a man sitting at a table enjoying a meal. He's wearing white robes. And you guys are all familiar with the gods of the realm, and he has Lothander symbol on his robe, so he appears to be some kind of priest of Lothander. And as well as you can see, you have the innkeep who's handling business, as well as a few people running around helping serve food and serve drinks. And what would you like to do? Oh, I think I just lost Sarah Kale. Hang on a sec here. Sorry, guys. I'm going to do a reconnect.
I'm chuckling at the half-orc. Right in front of Braxton. He's trying to, front.
Nice. All right, cool. Okay, so I lost you guys for a second with our lovely Roll20 doing its normal crazy stuff. What would you guys like to do?
I say we find the best seats in the house. Order wine and food.
Very good, very good. And that's what you do. You get a table. You go ahead and order up some good food, some good wine. The menu's great. And you have drinks all around.
Is there any kind of stage?
There actually is. Give me 1 second. Sarah Kale's kind of blinking in and out. I'm going to hit the button again.
Freeze. Everybody freeze.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Okay, I have you all again. Yes, there is a stage. That's convincing. Not bad. God dang it, now I just lost Brax. Everyone's hitting the reconnect button, and that just messes things up. I'm going to give Brax a couple seconds, and I might have to just reconnect again. This is going to be a good time. I want to use Discord so bad. There he is. All right, good stuff.
Yep.
All right, great. All right, yes, there is a stage, Ivandar.
Okay. We're gonna throw some jaunty tunes.
Okay.
And maybe a ballad or two at the lovely young lady.
Nice.
We're gonna give her the soulful eyes.
Good deal. Go ahead and give me another performance. I want to see if she's feeling you. Ooh. Performance 12. Yeah, you're doing pretty good. But she's also, interested in conversing with Sarah Kale and Brax. So she's not paying complete attention to you, but she's not ignoring you either. And so while you're playing, the cleric from Lothander approaches, and sits at your table and actually doesn't say anything. He approaches and is all, may I join you? He's a human.
Have a seat. It's good.
Ah, thank you very much. Thank you. And he sits down, and he had a meal, so he left that, but he has his drink with himself here. And he goes ahead and makes introductions and introduces himself here as Brother Earden. And I am Brother Earden. I am a follower of Lathander. I'm sure you're familiar with the Morning Glory. And you are all an interesting crew there. And he looks over at Brax and Sarah Kale in particular. What brings you to Red Larch?
The missing delegations. They need our assistance once again. And after that, we will have the power to storm the eternal fire.
Ah. I see. So
He hears us. He hears it.
Nice. So he sits there and just has small talk with y'all, joins you for some time, and he agrees. Though he's heard all the commotion about the missing delegation, and has heard a rumor of his own also. And he ends up telling you that he bought a strange old book from a passing merchant just a couple days ago. It's a beautifully illuminated manuscript written in Dwarvish. He doesn't read Dwarvish, so obviously he doesn't know what it says.
Hand it over. I may have dabbled in the short people language.
Do you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, all right. So you can tell that. Okay, so he pulls out the book, and it's a nice looking book too, and you can tell that it's a genealogical history of the dwarf clans of Mirabar.
Oh, it's the clan book. It is whoever fathered who and whoever fathered who and fathered who. You know how it goes with the dwarves. They always love to know who fathered who to what.
He also, he's like, I wouldn't even bring this up, but the peddler I bought the book from mentioned that he got it from a shady dealer, a keelboat skipper in Womford, which is south. And he somehow came by a dozen of similar books. And it's just odd that these books of this caliber are here, but I also heard something about a book transport as part of the delegation. So I don't know. Well, since you're looking for the delegation, I just thought you should know. And he goes back to his drinking as well.
Fat man, don't you know something about documents and books and stuff?
Who are you talking
Why
to?
Not? You! Over there. You!
I think it's Von Stad he's pointing at. Repeat yourself, Sarah Kale. Von Stad is in a daze, as usual.
Fat man! Don't you do stuff with books and stuff? You guys collect all this writing for nonsense.
Perhaps you have me mixed with another one of your dream people that you just wish upon. I don't think I've read a book in a bit of time.
And how are you going to read these secret documents if we find them?
Oh, I'm not here for secret documents. I'm here for other things entirely. But if secret documents do present themselves, I believe I could lay an eye or two upon them. I have this more backstory than you could imagine because I have been in my cups.
I had a dream. Red Sox win the World Series.
Okay, so eventually you're actually from upstairs. I'm sorry, there's one story. So from the back, you see an older lady, probably in her 40s or 50s, a human. She looks a little, her posture has been broken a little bit more than you would expect for someone that age. And she looks and sees the party and kind of grins and approaches also and introduces herself as Kaylessa, the proprietor of this establishment, and starts having small talk with you all as well, and inquires about why are you in Red Larch again?
We are here seeking information on the disappearance of the delegation.
Oh, yes, the delegation. It's funny you mention that. I have been leading. Yes, I know, exactly. You got to get all this information to here. It's like a data dump. Boom. I'm
Does
like,
anybody else need to walk over and
yeah, I know, exactly.
line off to the
I don't want to wait for you guys to figure it out and go chase them down yourself. Here all day.
I give the half orc a gold to form a line off to the left with a little rope, and we'll just let them in one by one.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, to cut to the chase, though, she spends time with you all, too, and lets you know that she's been leading an effort for the town to make a collection. And because with all of the events that have been happening in the area with the bad weather and, monster sightings and rogues on the road and all this stuff, she has a feeling she knows where it's coming from and is willing to hire you to go investigate what she calls the source of evil. Yes. And yes. And if we go back to the map here,
I don't remember seeing anything that said source of evil.
I know, that's what she calls it. That's her little nickname for it here. So let me scroll down here. And what she does is she points you to a location called Lance Rock. And then watch this too. Ready? Bang! X marks the spot. Bang! Oh, yeah, you gotta love that. All right, and then you guys are actually on Red Larch now. All right, so yeah, she points you because you have a map of this here, and then she points you right to it, and she goes, "Most of our reports are coming from there, and if you can eradicate the evil and find out what it is, I'm sure we will turn the reward over to you." And then she kind of like just takes a parchment out and writes a little number on it and slides it to you. And Sarah Kale, you flip the parchment over, and it has the word 1,000 on it, the number 1,000. Yes. Yes. So we will happily pay you 1,000 gold.
I pull out my little ink quill, scratch out the 1,000, write 1,500, and slide it back.
Okay.
And smile.
I got to see a roll on this.
That would be, my dear, this is the source of all evil.
Oh.
And you expect us to risk our lives, our very souls, for a measly 1,000 gold?
You see her put her arms up on her side and lean in, and she's like, "You drive a hard bargain. Let me talk to the council, and we will see about what we can do to maybe muster up a little more. But I don't know if we have those kind of resources. We're stretched thin, as it is. We're only a small town. But having evil this close by, it's bad for business."
True. We would also accept, various goods of extraordinary quality in place of money as well.
I see your point. I can't promise you anything now. But, again, if you're not interested in helping us at all, I understand.
Oh, no, we're interested in helping, as long as you're interested in helping us.
Very much so. Very much so.
All right. We hear the horn. Side quest.
All right. So let's take you back to Red Larch here before I dump any more on you. That's about all I got right now, guys, as far as the data dump goes there. You've all made your contacts. You guys have some idea of who you're looking for. She's leading you in the direction of some evil. There's pretty much... You're able to talk to other people in the Swinging Sword, but nothing comes of it as far as gaining any more additional information at this location.
After all that's gone on, Von Stott actually, becomes aware as he's sitting at the bar. So what are we doing?
All right, party. What would you like to do?
I'm going to spend a little time talking to that half orc in orc because I speak orc.
Ooh, very cool. Very cool.
Ask him, is there any inside, any dirt, anything, I'm trying to get in, befriend him, see if there's any underlying stuff that we should be aware of.
First thing he does is like, "You're pretty."
Damn straight.
Oh, yes. He actually does. He's like, "Yes, I've seen something that was very disturbing. I was out a little bit south of where we're at, and I came across freshly dug graves in the somber hills. I know they weren't there the day before. Yes, they weren't there the day before."
In I'm sorry, what hills were those again?
The Sumba Hills. Do you pull out your map?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go to your map here.
Just to the south of town.
All right. So yeah, he points and he pings right here. Boing! Actually, not south. I meant east.
Southeast.
I'm just to north.
I make a little note on the map.
All right, cool.
Investigate fresh graves in Sumner Hills.
All right. So with that, then, hold on a sec here. I will update your little map here. If I can just get to there. Put a little X there. He points to that spot there.
All right.
All right. He's like, Ryder, they weren't there the other day. I know it. These hills, I like to stay in the hills and wander the hills. It's the only place I get peace of mind and rest when I'm not working here, dealing with ignorant people who bring in their own alcohol.
That was well done, by the way, my good man. Well done indeed.
Thank you.
Next time, try to make sure they land on their heads.
Will do. All right, Departier. So many side quests. So many quests. What would you like to do? You going to spend the night here?
I say so.
Okay. So,
where was our place? Was there an inn to spend the night in?
You're in the inn, actually. The Swinging Sword is the inn. Helmet High Sun is a tavern.
Somebody else didn't listen.
That's why they need the nature people. They don't listen to anything.
So Brax is not really comfortable sleeping in towns and beds and things. He's going to head out of town to crash.
Okay, very good.
I'm going with Brax.
Okay.
Like somebody's got to mother the big guy.
Okay.
I'm just going to sleep in a very nice bed.
Nice. Okay. And unfortunately, Helea's, your performance wasn't good enough to, provide you with any sleeping companionship. And Von Stad, do you get a room?
What time of night is it?
Yeah, the sun just set. You've been spending probably anywhere gathering information typically takes 1d4 hours. Let's see how long you guys have been doing this for. Couple hours have gone by, so it's early evening. Probably you would say around 8-ish in that range.
I'm going to go back to the clothiers.
Okay. So you head back to the clothiers.
Diminutive friends.
Okay, well, it's closed now. It's 8 o'clock, so the door's shut.
I bang on the door.
He was at the inn with us.
Yeah.
You see, a waist high, a little thing in the door, open up, a little eyeball. What's up? What are you doing here?
Linen.
We're closed.
Perhaps a word.
Opens it up and lets you in.
I was remiss upon our previous tete-a-tete to inquire as to any individuals bearing a sign, and I make a wave sign, the water cult.
Oh, interested in the water cult. And he's like, how did you know about the water cult?
There was a previous encounter that I shall not divulge at this time because it is not relevant for this conversation.
I see. Well, the Lord's Alliance believes that the water cult is just a myth.
Oh, yeah,
they believe there's always talks of this water cult, fire cult, all of these cults.
My less than chin height friend, that's not true.
Then how do you know? What's your evidence? I can't wait to see it. What do you provide, Von Stad?
Perhaps my original query has gone unnoticed by your distractive mental capacity. What I've required was the knowledge of, have there been any people in this town? I'm speaking very slowly because you guys are dense. With this.
And he's like, every word that you space out like that, he's like getting closer and closer and closer. And he gets up and he backs up and he goes, no.
Well, thank you.
I would have told you, of course. We are both members of the Lord's Alliance. I wouldn't hold anything back from you. But if you discover that this water cult truly exists, I would like to know so I can report it.
Perhaps that should be done in kind, and I slip him just the lowliest iron drab I've got. Thank you for your time.
I don't require payment. But remember, if your clothes grow stained or weathered, come see me. I'm sure I can take that garment that you're wearing and do something fantastic with it.
Your mawkish praises are duly noted.
Nice. All right, and then you. Okay, so you spend the evening there. Two of you in the bed, two of you in the wilderness. Morning comes. What would the party like to do? I feel the adventure heading our way.
Adventure.
So, what say ye? Lance Rock or the Graves?
The Graves would be less messy. We go to Lance Rock. We have to kill things.
But may I point out that Lance Rock is less of a sojourn, say, and less likely to make my appendages a bit fatigued.
Yeah, Lance Rock
You're
is just
saying you're fat and can't go that far. He'll carry you.
But don't forget the gobs of money that they will throw at us for going to Lance Rock. So
Yeah.
I'm leaning that way.
So you keep your counsel to yourself, you withered and weathered hag.
There we go.
No. Don't punish him. He does not know what he says.
I love it. So it sounds like Lance Rock?
Lance Rock.
Lance Rock it
Hey,
is.
you big man.
It really only takes you a few hours to get to the location. Now, remember, guys, this is a full-blown module. Wandering monsters, encounter tables. We're going old school on this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. I prepared for
I got first watch.
Yeah, exactly.
He does not get a watch.
I want to do a perception check on every bush that we pass, just in case.
Nice. That's awesome. All right. Let us see here.
Well, that kind of broke the mood. Damn.
Sorry, I was thinking here. All right. So you head out for a couple hours before you come across a small woods. So small, though, it didn't even really need to be put on the map, but it actually surrounds a rock that juts straight out of the ground and makes, a large, I want to say boulder. Boulder's not big enough. It almost makes a small little, peak at the top. But there it is. You can see it coming out, but in front of it, of course, is some woods. And you can see a trail leading into the brush. And from where your vantage point is, I believe you can see roughly that some sticks have fallen down in the middle of the path in a small clearing out in front of you, and a path continues straight on. Does anyone have nature skills or survival skills or anything along those lines?
I have nature, but I want to send Tobin up ahead to scout out the area.
Okay.
I have survival as well.
Okay. And Tobin, I'm not familiar now. For him, what kind of perception does Tobin have as far as being able to see? Have you created that?
If I was a really good player, I would have created Tobin.
So Tobin's blind, is what you're saying.
Yeah, Tobin doesn't have any eye, I guess.
Awesome. Well, how about we use your perception? How's that sound?
But I would like to watch Tobin and whisper to Sarakel, what I think Tobin should be doing as a supportive measure for this skill check.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go with your 14 passive perception here. All right. Or if you can make a 22. Now, the survival check, Von Stad made a survival check. Interesting. Von Stad, you also see foot traffic, humanoid-sized footprints. You can see that this area has a decent amount of traffic going through it. So it looks like recently, too, as well. So lots of footprints. Doesn't even take much of a tracking skill at all to be able to follow this. Plus,
it looks like there are footprints.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So then Tobin goes out and he, goes through. Now, remember, a lot of times he's like a chicken. His wings are so battered. He's like, wow! He has little short jumps of flight, goes and flies over here. And
he's graceful.
Yes, and checks out here. So, you know what? Actually, give me a perception check for Tobin based on your character, Sarah Kale.
The 22 wasn't cool enough?
I see it right there. I saw two 22s, two different characters.
No, it wasn't cool enough.
It wasn't cool enough.
So what Tobin ends up seeing is when he gets to right about here, he can spot hiding in the bushes
Wait a minute.
3 humanoids wearing cloaks, but they also have almost like camouflage, like a sniper would have on. So they have or like sticks and brushes and branches, attached to their armor to hide really well. And they're sitting there and hiding, which you can see here.
Okay, so I have the ability to talk through Tobin.
Oh,
I asked them to come out of hiding since we can see them.
okay.
You, men. There's 3 of you. I can see you. Come on out.
Okay. Well, let me give you their response here. Hold on a sec here.
Bolt.
And Tobin had a short life.
Their response happens to have a sharp tip and feathers on the other end.
Exactly. All right. This is going to be good.
God, I still want to play for another hour.
I know. What time is it? Oh, we're going to be ending in 5 minutes. So let me kill Tobin first real quick here. Here comes the response. You ready?
Yes.
You see a light crossbow fires right past Tobin. Feathers spurt out of him. And you hear, piss off, bird! And we go to initiative! Okay, don't roll yet. Let me put up the turn order here. And don't forget, what you can do now is you click on your miniature. So click on your miniature, and then go to your character sheet, and you can roll initiative, and it'll add you to the tracker.
Oh, look at me roll. Oh, that's right.
Wow, I can't believe I'm going to go first with a 9.
We're still missing a couple people here. Brax?
Fear me with a 2.
Wow, look at these rolls.
Seriously.
So, Brax, you didn't get updated. There it is. I'm sorry. Did you click on your token, Brax, before you
Oh,
rolled?
shoot. I don't have a map up, so I can't even see my token.
Scroll up.
Scroll up.
I've
Map
never
is-
seen
map is
such
at the top of the page.
shittier rolls. Seriously.
I got nothing,
Look at that
guys.
6.
Oh, there we go.
You see us? Yeah! Good old half over here. Woo! All right, well, we play for an hour once a week, and I believe we're wrapping it up here. So we got initiative rolled. We're going to pick up tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week, and we're going to go ahead and get into have a little fun with some combat with some bandits. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone who stopped by and visited or watched the whole stream. Like I said, we're going to be streaming for an hour once a week. For the next couple of weeks, I think on Fridays. But I think we're going to have to switch nights eventually because we have some work schedule conflicts that we got to sort out.
I suck.
Yeah. Syracuse job is causing us anguish.
He's not lying.
Yeah. But like I said, I appreciate everyone being here, and we will see you in approximately a week. Woo!
Thanks, everyone.
Wait. Approximately?
Yeah, we don't know
Not
what day.
exactly.
Not exactly. Hopefully within a week.
6
We'll
days
see.
and 23 hours.
There you go. All right. Good night, everyone.